All right, so welcome to ProWorkshop. This is our third session, February 2019, and the motto of these are learn, connect, and sell better. So what is this all about? Why are we doing this? It's to help you learn more about our industry, our company, and our products. We want to engage you face-to-face. Obviously, FaceTime is the best time to time. We love to do it in person, but virtually here, we'll take that. And we want to hear back from you. So this is supposed to be an open dialogue. We brought some interactivity to this, so we'll be doing some quizzes during this. We're going to do that live tour in the end. I can't stress enough, if you can stick around. I know your schedules are busy. It's toward the end of Monday. But if you have time to stick around, it's going to be worth your while. We're going to do a great tour of our Middleton Innovation Manufacturing Center. It's going to be really exciting. You're going to be able to see the production facility, the warehouse, some of our unbelievable showroom, and our light bar cafe where we do lunch and learns. So stick around, and that'll definitely be worth your time. When are we going to do these? How often? We're going to be doing these pro workshops once a month. We're going to hold them for 45 minutes. Again, we know your time is very valuable, and it's going to be a new session every month. So we'll have 2 or 3 different time slots where you can come every month, but it'll be the exact same session. And we definitely invite you to invite your distributors, invite contractors, ESCOs, utility people, end users. The more the better. We've actually had some really good success where some of our reps or even distributors have watched this webinar with their customers. So they've brought them lunch or maybe some bagels or a snack and went to the contractor's office or that distributor's office and done this webinar in front of them. That's a really great way, a really effective way to do this. So who am I? David Gershaw, I'm the Chief Innovation Officer here at Light Efficient Design. I'm based out of our Middleton, Massachusetts facility. I founded REMFOS back in 2000 and, yeah, that's wrong. I founded REMFOS back in 2008 and we merged with Light Efficient Design as of January of last year, 2018. And like I said, if you're joining us at the beginning, just telling the story about snowboarding and falling into the cave, hoping not to wake up the bear, but just got back from Vail, Colorado. Here's a little photo of me. We love to do tours here at Middleton facility. This is a family friend, Luke. He's special needs, and he came in about a month ago. We showed him around. It was really exciting. We brought him into the warehouse. We let him move some boxes around, taught him how production works, and he was so excited that he's actually, after he's going to graduate high school, there's a work program in Massachusetts, and he's going to come in here and hopefully help us part-time. So that's really exciting. We love to do things like that. And here's a photo of me in Vail. I can't say enough great things about Colorado. It was my first time in Colorado. Absolutely beautiful state, great people, great food. Nate, take it away.
Thanks, David. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nate Dennis, and I'm the Director of Project and Energy Sales, and I live up here in Maine, and many of you might recognize that property there. That's the Bush family compound called Walker's Point, but I don't live there at all. I live on the other side of town, and so yeah, there's my house right there. That's where I live in Maine. I live there with my wife and my youngest son, Noah, and we have 2 little black miniature poodles, and they're Baxter and Zoe, and I should have had a picture, but I didn't have a picture of them. And then for those of you, I know a lot of you know that I have a lot of passion for my little British sports car, which is a 1963 MGB. And back to you, David.
All right, thanks, Nate. Nate's going to be presenting on the site lighting in a moment here. So, all right, the goal of this pro class, what is it? It's to provide you with updates both on the industry in general and on our company. It's to introduce you to some really cool new products or updates on existing products. We want to present you with a really memorable project study or case study, a success story, something that you'll remember, and you'll go to your customers after this webinar and say, hey, this is an actual project that Light Efficient Design has done with this particular product. Today, Rebecca is going to present that case study, and it's going to be on a really exciting project we did at a school with our solar area lighting. And then lastly, we're going to do a Q&A. Definitely recommend, or I'm sorry, a quiz section. I definitely recommend that you take some notes. These are some tough questions. If you do well on that quiz, like Rebecca said, you'll be entered into a prize, great prize. I think we're giving away those Yetis today. So definitely take notes. And really the point of this is that in the quiz, it's not meant to trip you up. These are the takeaways, the key bullet points that we want you to remember that will help you sell the product and help you sell projects. So, part one, industry and company updates. Today we're going to be talking about our Middleton Innovation and Manufacturing Center. Here's actually a photo. This is pretty cool. This is a photo basically where I'm standing today in my office. This is the dirt. This was back in 2015 when we were searching for a new home, when we were expanding. And that's a photo of my dad, of Scott. And we were scoping this out. This was a property purchased. We purchased it by the state of from the state of Massachusetts. It was a vocational high school, and we turned it into this unbelievable innovation and manufacturing center. That was back in 2015. This was at the groundbreaking ceremony. This was September 21st of 2016. And those are two of our production people. You can see me in the middle there with a rendering in the back. And that was the first scoop of dirt that we pulled out of the ground. I still have that shovel proudly displayed in my office here. This was middle of the way through building the facility. So this was probably in the middle of 2017. You see, we have a lot of really excited and eager staff, team members ready to go. $5 million investment. So we're really proud about this. When other manufacturers in the lighting space are underinvesting or going out of business, we're investing significantly into our future. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because we want you, our customers, and our reps, we want you to come visit us, bring your customers. It'll help you sell projects, and it will help them see and you see that we're here to stay. We're a real power to be reckoned with. We're growing like crazy. We're investing like crazy. And we're serious about being here in the future. So here's some photos from our production facility downstairs. You can see over on the right, they're assembling an LED CR. That's our circular retrofit kit into a drum housing. We do a lot of Buy America Act manufacturing here. So we do a lot of projects for military bases, government buildings. So that's a big part of why we invested in the manufacturing facility here. We also do a lot of custom solutions. So for example, that LED CR photo in the bottom right, we might be adding motion sensors, we could be adding emergency battery backup, we could be assembling it into a fixture, we could be adjusting those flex watt, flex color switches on there. So we do a lot of custom work. Here's a photo of our warehouse. Warehouse is really impressive, really well organized. The team that is running the warehouse is top notch, super efficient. We actually designed the warehouse. One of our employees that helped build the warehouse and organize it came from Amazon. So we use the same system to organize and digitize the warehouse that they do. Again, really proud of our warehouse here. Here's a photo of our showroom up top. Again, stick around to the end, you'll see the tour. And on the bottom, you'll see our conference room and what we're calling our Light Bar Cafe, where we do a lot of these lunch and learns. Here's a flyer available. Contact Caitlin, contact Rebecca, contact your regional manager if you don't have it. But this is just a nice little one-page flyer, front and back, that you can bring with you to customer visits, leave it with them. You know, two purposes of that. One is to show them what a beautiful facility we've invested in here. And also it has that kind of invitation on the back. If you're ever in the Boston area, come see us. We have an open door policy. We really want to show everyone this facility. So again, that live tour at the end, stick around and it's going to be really exciting. You'll be able to see the whole building. So product updates. This month, we're going to be talking about our site lighting product. That's our LED ALG2. Then we're also going to be talking really in depth about our solar portfolio, both what we have today and then where we're headed to in the future. So I'm going to hand it over to Nate now, and Nate's going to take it away on the site lighting.
Okay, there we go. So I'm going to make a transition over to my screen here. So it's just going to take just a sec while we make that leap. So bear with me. So hopefully you're about to see my screen here. So hang on. There, I think we should be good. Hey, all right. So firstly, we're going to acknowledge right off the bat that the site lighting space is a pretty crowded marketplace, and we get that. So when David sat down to kind of concept out what he wanted to do with our site lighting line, he decided that he wanted to do several key things as part of the product offering. First of all, he wanted to make it contractor friendly. And that means quick to install, easy to work with in the field, minimum labor efforts. The other thing we want to do is make sure we had tons of different options available and customization, which is really very much a part of the REMFOS by Light Efficient Design motto, which is to allow you to be very specific to the customer needs with our product line. And I think that will come through right away when I show you some of these other slides. The last part of this is that we want it to be easy to design with and offer you some tools and ideas and concepts that you can work with your customers on. Or if you're an end user customer and you happen to be on this call, you can benefit from some of those really neat design options and tools that we have available to you. And then also we wanted to have a best-in-class warranty. We have a 10-year warranty. So this is the lineup of products, and we have 7 different lumen packages, as you can see right there on the screen. It's 100% modular, and I'm going to explain, and at the end I'm going to show you a little live piece of how the product goes together, and that will make it a little bit more clear to you what we mean by modular. And then also, again, I mentioned the fact that we have a 10-year warranty. You'll notice in the design, we use the same size, so regardless of lumen output, we use the same physical general form factor in terms of the same size wiring harnesses and boxes and the physical left to right width of the fixture. It's all the same across the line. And then we've added what we call Lego style, or we build out the fixture as you go up higher in lumen output. Right here is we have 4 different bracket types, and the adjustable slip fitter is really cool. We're going to show you that live in just a little bit, but that allows you also to use the product as a floodlight, and we'll show you that. The round and square pole, which is bracket B, is probably our most common bracket, but if you need the Tringian style or a wall mount style, we offer those as well, and they're both, all 4 of those are at very attractive price points. So let's take a quick look at some of the assembly process that that you'll catch right away that David had in mind when he laid out this product for us to bring to the market. The other thing is worth noting, and before I go into the bracket, is we've positioned this, we are extremely attractive, I think, to you on the price point side, but we're added a ton of little features inside of here. And so we're not going to tell you that we're totally specification grade, because that sounds very expensive. We're not, but we are feature laden. And the first part of this is being that contractor friendly. Take a look at how the product goes in place. You mount in that V-groove bracket onto the pole, and we'll walk you through that in just a second. So it's really easy to do. You just drop, once the bracket is mounted onto the pole, you literally just drop the fixture onto the bracket and it's held there. So only one person has to be up in the boom lift to be able to install it. Particularly when you get into the bigger lumen packages, they can be pretty heavy duty fixtures. And we can do it all with one guy using that V-groove channel, which holds the fixture in place. And it's been pretty well shown. One, you get labor savings by only needing one guy, but also with the V-groove, you're going to save 10 to 15 minutes per fixture. So nobody has to literally hold the fixture into place while they're trying to connect it to the pole. It's all done through mechanics. This is just a walkthrough of how the product goes together on the pole. And if you start in the upper left-hand side, you pull your wires through your existing pole. You mount the bracket to the pole, and what's kind of neat is the wiring connections are done primarily internal to the bracket. Then in the upper right of number 2, you drop your fixture into the V-groove that will hold it in place. You finish your wiring connections and bracket number 3, and you can see the way it's mounted there. You can see in fact, I think that some of you can see my cursor. You can see where your wiring is done here, and then you tuck it up into your bracket and then mount a simple little cover plate over the top. So it makes for very easy, thought out installation. Then once you get it into the field, there's always issues down the road of access to the fixture, either to upgrade it or maintenance or anything like that. And on the left-hand side here, and I'll try to bring my cursor over, this is kind of the way some competitors do it. You can see there are little screw holes that are going around the outside of the fixture. Imagine being the installer up inside of a bucket truck, reaching up over your head, fumbling with little screws on trying to figure out how to get into the wiring compartment to both wire power into the fixture, and then also any other sort of work you need to do into it. And I know with me, with my little fumble fingers, those screws would be on the ground and I would be going up and down in the lift. And believe me, it would cost everybody a lot more than an extra 15 minutes of wiring. So that's how a lot of competitors do it. We had the wherewithal to design, in the middle, you'll see a toolless or screwless access. They're spring-loaded clips that firmly lock the driver box closed, but you unclick them and you can open up to have complete access to the wiring. And then the photo with the yellow circle shows where the driver mounts in there. And ultimately, we do the same kind of locking mechanism with the driver. So there's no screw. So down the road, we know that fixtures sometimes will lose a driver over many years. And then what you'll do is you'll just click and unlock, and you undo 2 wiring harnesses to put the driver back into the fixture. So it's simple, super simple and easy to make those changes. The other thing that I think is quite important that we added, not a lot of site lighters add a lot of extra control to their products. And so there's a couple of things that we've done here with it. Firstly, for those of you that aren't familiar with site lighting, once you add in a different, this is called a NEMA socket or a receptacle socket that allows you to do a couple of things. It allows you to add a photo cell to it, and we offer those. We've set it up so we have a 7-pin photo or plug-in socket, and the extra pins allow you to potentially add a third-party control system to the product line. So if somebody wants to do some sort of wireless control systems in their parking lot or have some sort of specialty technical control system, we are probably wired to be able to accommodate that. And then finally, in every box, we include standard, something called a shorting cap. The shorting cap, and I'll show you again at the end of the video, plugs right in there and it covers up, weatherizes the fixture entrance, but it also creates a full circuit, because when you go to a parking lot to do an assessment, one of the things that you'll ask is, how do the lights know to come on when it gets dark? And how do they know when to go off and in the morning? And sometimes they'll have a sensor mounted on a building somewhere that controls the parking lot. And if that's the case, then you know that we just need the shorting cap installed onto that unit, and that comes right in the box ready to go. The other thing that you can add to it down here on the lower right is you can add a motion sensor into the product as well. So if they need the lights to come on at 100% when they see motion and then drop down to 30% when there's nobody around, that's a huge energy savings capability, particularly when you consider how often, especially during this time of year, parking lot lights have to be on to provide safety and security. We offer, not only did we offer the 7 different optic types, we also offer a bunch of different flood photometric types as well as part of doing your design. And I like to say we're literally, with all the design, with all the lumen packages and with all the different optics that we have available to you, you can literally paint your parking lot with light. And I think that this next slide might even, well, actually, the next slide after that, let me get there. We can also do the design for you. So if you're not a prolific seller of site lighting and you don't have a lot of experience, that's fine. There's a couple of key things that we need to know. We need to know the address. That's a great way to figure out, we can use Google Earth these days to do a pretty good photometric of your space. If you're working with an architect or an engineer, a lot of times they'll have a CAD file that we can use, and we can do all sorts of design right off of that to meet your expectations or the expectations of the specifier. Then lastly, I love this slide. This is terrific. This shows a before and after of one of the projects that we did. On the left, of course, was traditional lighting, and on the right was literally how we can paint that space beautiful with LED lighting and with all the different design options that we have available. And that was done, they used a drone. So the combination of LED technology now and then the drone technology of doing a flyover, that's pretty cool. I just think that that's really neat. And so we can do that to parking lots where your customers need LED lighting. So just sort of a general recap. I like to say it's a them versus us, or us versus them. There's a few things, again, that we added. A 10-year warranty, most have a 5. We have a bunch of wattage shortages, and some of the manufacturers that we were doing our comparison to only even had as low as 3 different wattage choices, kind of like a low, medium, and high setting. But when you saw earlier, when you have to design parking lots and you don't want spill light, you really need multiple wattage packages to get the job done. We offer 3 different color temperatures. There's a whole trend that went towards white light. Now there's a whole trend back a little bit towards warmer light. We got you covered on those. A bunch of different optic choices. We talked about the toolless driver entrance. One point that I didn't make earlier, which is really important, is right here, the 15 kVA surge protection. You'll be amazed by how low some manufacturers offer in terms of protection against surges. And it's really important. It saves us all a lot of headaches down the road, and that's why we wanted to engineer it with top of the line, best of class surge protection. We talked about how important having a 7-pin NEMA receptacle was, the 1 groove mounting. We're DLC premium listed, so then we're ultra high efficacy, going in that 130 up into the 155 range. And we have a pretty generic design. We're not doing anything too wild and crazy and funky. I'm going to show you live a couple of the parts and pieces, and then after that I'll flip you back to Dave, but hang on just a sec. There we go. I think that you guys can all see me. So if everything goes well, I'm holding up right here. This is an adjustable slip fitter bracket that we use. And you can kind of see a couple of things here. You can see the V-notch where the fixture actually lays down on top when you're mounting it. You can see this mechanism twists. So this allows you to do a floodlight mounting as part of the optics package. This is the actual fixture, and one of the things that I didn't talk about is here is where you can take advantage of our Middleton assembly facility. We can do on-the-fly quick optic changes. When we talked about modular before, we weren't kidding. So here we can actually replace this optic and put in a different, like if you needed a type 4 or a type 3 instead of a type 5, because sometimes in the field, frankly, we make mistakes. So we can on the fly help you with those mistakes. The other part of this is kind of cool. This is, as I mentioned earlier, this is our optional occupancy sensor for energy savings. And then finally, we talked about the toolless, I don't know, hopefully you can see me. I'm going to stand up here a little bit. The toolless how to get into the hatch. So it's a simple clip, and believe me, as the director of sales, if I can do that, any of your contractor friends can do that even much faster than I can. So David, I'm gonna flip it back over to you, and if you have any thoughts of things that I've missed or anything that you want to add to that, or go right into that solar dive, which I think everybody on the call is just going to have a blast with.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it. No, that was excellent. Just one more thing to note, we do have what we call our Pro Class video available on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube or our website, but if you're on YouTube and you type in REMFOS or light efficient design when you're with a customer, if you really want to go into depth about the details of that product and many of our products, type in REMFOS light efficient design into YouTube, click on the LED ALG2 and you'll get a great 10-minute video that really goes over all the different features that Nate went over. All right, now we're going to move over to solar. This is where it's going to get really exciting. So we realized that in solar lighting, there have been some solar lighting companies out there to date. What our focus is going to be, what our commitment is that we're going to be the first in the market with easy to use, high quality, plug and play solar lighting products. What we're not going to be is we're not going to be a complete engineered solution. An engineered solution would be for solar lighting would be where you go to them and you have to upload to them all the different requirements you have, where you are in the country, and they'll custom engineer a solution that might be, I've seen $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, I've seen $6,000, $7,000 per pole with different sets of batteries and solar panels. We want to be the easy to use off-the-shelf solution, something that can be stocked by our distributors and easily deployed. With that, and I'll talk about that towards the end of my little solar pitch here, we understand that there are a number of considerations that need to be taken, and we want to make sure that you understand the abilities of these products so that you can clearly communicate and articulate expectations to your customers so that you have happy customers. So I'd like to start with this. Where do we start with solar? Why are we even in solar lighting? So it all started back in 2014, and this is when I started working with one of our partners down in North Carolina who had a lot of contact over in Africa, specifically in Tanzania, and basically they were in need of a home lighting kit, something that could be used in a home, but also turned out hospitals and schools where they had kerosene lamps. They didn't have any electricity and they wanted light in there at night. So what we came up with was called the Firefly. You'll see a photo in the bottom left. And basically it was a battery pack. That's what the word Firefly is mounted to, the battery pack. And there were 5 different LED modules, kind of hockey puck lights. You can see one in that photo. And then you can see in the top right, that gentleman that's mounting the solar panel to that roof. And this was a huge success. So we partnered with philanthropies and governments over there, and we deployed over 50,000 of these kits to homes and schools and universities and hospitals, and we made a huge impact. And that's when we said, hey, we think there's some real legs to this solar lighting. Maybe we can do that here in the U.S. So this is the product that we launched about midway through 2018. This is our LED SAL solar area light, and this is our solar site lighting, parking lot area light fixture. Few of the key things here: 5-year warranty. The reason why we're able to get a 5-year warranty is that battery technology has really progressed over the last couple of years. A lot of that progression has actually come from the electric car industry. So we use the same battery cells that are used in, say, a Tesla, and the reliability of those batteries have gone way up. The number of charge cycles that they can accept has gone way up. So the batteries that we're using can allow for up to 2,000 charge discharge cycles. And basically 1 day is 1 cycle. So in a year, you have 365 potential cycles. So over a 5-year period, we're under that 2,000 charge cycle mark. If the battery does start to depreciate at the end of the 5 years, after the warranty period is over, it is easy to replace these batteries. And we sell the batteries as a separate item. So 5-year warranty, 7 hours of sunlight to fully charge the panel, up to 50 hours of runtime. So there's different modes. I'll go over that in a moment. But we have 3 different operating modes, some of them saving more energy. It's the motion sensing mode that's going to save the most energy, where on 7 hours of charge, it can last up to 50 hours of runtime. We're using LEDs in our LED module in this fixture that are over 200 lumens per watt, so super efficient. Operating temperatures, -20°C to 50°C. We had the battery certified so that it could be shipped without any hazard. Wind certifications we have, 75 CRI and an L70 of over 100,000 hours. We're offering 2 different models of this fixture today: an 8-watt unit that replaces up to a 70-watt metal halide, and a 30-watt unit that replaces up to a 250 metal halide. And because we're using LEDs that are super efficient, over 200 lumens per watt, we're able to get those equivalencies with such low wattage. Here's an example of the cut sheet. So we have the 2 part numbers, the 8-watt and the 30-watt. Something that you will want to note is that the fixture comes standard with the adjustable slip fitter bracket, but if you need, you can see down below either the round pole or the square pole or the trunnion mount bracket. You purchase those separately, so keep that in mind. There are the part numbers for those brackets and some photos of them. Again, with the Pro class, if you go to YouTube, type in light efficient design or REMFOS when you're with a customer, we've got a great Pro class video going over all the details of that. So what's next? This is launching about March. We already have this on our price guide, so if you don't have pricing, you can look to one of your reps or distributors for pricing. But we're going to be the first in the market to have a really, really awesome all-in-one off-grid wall pack. So we've got one unit that replaces up to a 50-watt metal halide, one unit that replaces up to a 100-watt metal halide. Again, all-in-one. The solar panel on that is actually adjustable, just like on the LED SAL parking lot fixture, so you can really mount this on any side of the building, but angle that panel to optimize sunlight hitting it. Here's a solar wall mount light fixture, so this would go, outside of a door, say on an apartment building or a warehouse, either above the door or next to the door. Again, first in the market with this. This is a really beautiful architectural step light or lower wall light where you see this kind of in the perimeter of buildings or going upstairs. So again, first to the market with this. This replaces up to a 20-watt halogen. We have a best practices and guidelines pamphlet for our solar lighting available now. Like I said in the beginning of this solar lighting section, we realized that setting expectations straight is really, really important. So I'm going to go over this guide a little bit, but basically what we're offering today are pure off-grid solutions. That means that there are no wires going to them. We're also going to be offering about Q2 or Q3 of this year hybrid solutions. We're going to be debuting some of those at Light Fair this year. We want you to know that these off-grid solutions, they're excellent, they're great. What you have to let your customers know is they're really not for use in what I call critical environments. So if you have a hospital parking lot where 365 nights of the year, the lights are absolutely required to make it through all night, off-grid solar lighting is probably not your best bet. If you're in say our office here in Middleton, our office park here in Middleton, it's okay if here in the winter, when we have some really, really cold days and the battery doesn't charge fully, or we have maybe 3, 4, 5 days in a row of clouds, and again, the battery doesn't charge fully, it's okay if a few nights a year, the lights don't make it through the entire night. So I'd say that off-grid solar lighting is perfect for what I call non-critical applications. There's some really nice little diagrams on this guideline book. This is really just intended so that when the contractor is in the field, and if they're not experienced with solar lighting, they can look at this and say, okay, this is what we should do, this is what we shouldn't do. Sometimes what you shouldn't do is more important. So again, not so obvious with line voltage outdoor lighting, but with solar lighting, you wouldn't want it blocked by buildings or trees. Temperature as well, so cold temperatures are going to decrease the battery's ability to charge. Here's a little cheat sheet on that guide. Kind of talks about, because that solar area light, you can adjust the panel, talks about, depending on where you are in the world for latitude, pick a angle for that panel that best suits where you are. Mode selection. So there are 3 different operating modes in most of our off-grid solar lighting fixtures. The reason why this is super important to understand is that you'll want to choose one of the energy-saving modes when you're in an area of the country, or maybe in an area of the country that's really cold, or gets a lot of cloudy days, or maybe in a parking lot. You could be in a parking lot in Florida that's totally covered by palm trees, and you're really worried about that solar panel charging fully. So basically, the constant brightness mode on top, that's going to be the mode that drains the battery the fastest. So only choose that constant brightness mode, which means the fixture comes on at dusk and turns off in the morning, and it stays at full brightness. Only choose that mode if you're confident that you're in an area of the country that doesn't get super cold and doesn't have a lot of shade or cloud cover. If you're in an area of the country that has those things, I would choose that motion sensing mode. Basically, what that's going to do is it's going to do a high-low. So when people or cars are not in that parking lot, it's going to be at a low light level. And then when people or cars come in there, it's going to go up to high. That's going to be your best case scenario where your battery can last up to 50 hours on one 7-hour charge. And then in the middle of that is that time schedule mode, which basically the lights are going to come on at a dimmed level of about 50% at dusk. And then it's going to slowly ramp up to a higher level. And then towards midnight, it's going to slowly ramp down. So constant brightness will drain the battery the fastest. Time schedule mode is the second best. And then motion sensing mode is the absolute best for saving battery. maintenance. Something that's not that important with non-solar lighting, with line voltage lighting, but really important with solar lighting, is you want to keep that solar panel clean. So that's why not only is it important for sunlight to hit it, for that panel to be at an angle, but also so that snow can naturally fall off of it, and that rain will kind of naturally clear dust off of it. But it is important to note that, probably, customers aren't going to do it, but you can tell them that, hey, once a year or maybe once every 2 years, you might want to go up there with a ladder or a bucket truck, clean that panel with some soapy water. That's going to make sure that you get the best performance. All right, so now let's do a little demo here. So I have the LED SAL right here. Again, all in one unit. You can see this one has the adjustable flip fitter, but you could get those optional brackets. You can see how the fixture would be angled like that, and then the LED module actually tilts, and you lock that in place with a screw there, so it will stay in place. That's so that your pole will be vertical, your panel can be angled to your optimal angle, and then your LEDs pointed down to the ground. The battery box there, where if you ever needed to get to that battery, you could. The motion sensor, that's also the receiver for the remote control. So that's the LED SAL. This is the unit that replaces up to a 70 watt. Here's our brand new, super exciting wall pack fixture. This is the smaller unit, so you can see how that solar panel can angle out. Once it is angled out, you can lock it in place so it's not going to move on a windy day. LED module down there, motion sensor in there, super easy to mount, no wires going into it. And then also we have that little wall light, wall security light, you can see that. And then that beautiful little architectural step light. So that is our solar lighting offering. Let's go back to our presentation here. So what's next for solar? Again, this is a category that light efficient design is going to be the absolute leader in this space. So what's next for us? This is an example of what you might see at Light Fair in 2019 if you visit us at our booth. We're going to have an absolutely beautiful booth this year. Basically, what I say by comfortable form factors is that we want to have form factors that don't look crazy, that don't look radical, that people don't shy away from to put on their building or in their parking lot. These are form factors, and that's important for us because there are some solar lighting companies that are coming into the space that are really proposing really radical designs. We want to keep it clean, simple, elegant. We're going to have two ways to power. Again, today what we offer is completely off-grid, but we're going to move in the direction of offering hybrid solar, so that's coming. That's going to be really exciting. And then we're going to be offering monitoring and reporting, a cloud-based portal, where basically, especially for that hybrid solar technology that we're going to be debuting, this is really important, right? So, you're going to have the ability to log in, the utility will have the ability to log in, or the facilities manager, and see how much power is being pulled from the grid versus being pulled from the sun into that battery, so that you can figure out what's going on. And then you'll also be able, this will have two-way communication via SIM card, cellular in each fixture. So you'll have the ability, once you understand, okay, this is what's happening today, you can make adjustments to it to save even more energy and get better performance out of that. So I'm going to hand it over to our wonderful Rebecca now, and she's going to go over a case study for our solar area lighting fixture.
Thank you so much, David. You and Nate did such a good job today. Good job. So our success story happens to be in the state of California, a high school in Delano, between San Francisco and LA, wanted to have exterior lighting around the school. So the distributor the maintenance guy went to the distributor, who has a great relationship with our rep. We have an outstanding rep in California, Electra Rep. These guys and girls are emailing me, and they're just great. And then also the distributor has a great relationship with our regional manager, Justin Lane, who does a phenomenal job. My gosh, he's just great. And so he said, well, what's going on? And he said, I want exterior lighting, but I don't want to dig up the asphalt and put wiring under the ground. So he said, yeah, absolutely, I got something for you. So they went ahead and mounted some poles and let them, left them cure. They bought the solar lights and placed them up, and it was a great success. The distributor, I don't know, I think like a Sunday after that, just drove there on a Sunday night, and he said that it was like beyond his expectations. It exceeded it. He said it was a home run hit. So excited. But then get this, it got even better. The city of Delano noticed what was going on, and so now they're asking us for quotes, on their street lighting and their park districts. So what a success story! Like, not only are we doing this for the school, but now we have other opportunities. So great job, Electro Rep and Justin Lane. And then obviously our distributor, you know who you are, that get it, that it just, you understand it, and I love it. So great job.
Thanks, Rebecca. Awesome case study showing that. And please stick with us if you can for a moment here, and I'll pull this up. And we will give you a great tour of this Middleton facility. All right, here we go. Enjoy.
Oh, hey, Caitlin, just checking out our new Light Efficient Design 2019 catalog here. But let's take a look at the building.
Oh, sorry about that. Here we go.
Oh, hey, Caitlin, just checking out our new Light Efficient Design 2019 catalog here. But let's take a look at the building. Follow me. So one pretty cool thing to point out about the property in general is that this property, and you can pan out to the outside, you can see a little bit outside here. This property used to be an old vocational high school. We actually purchased the land from the state of Massachusetts and converted it to this use back in 2016. So we'll take a walk towards our lighting cafe and showroom. As we're walking down this area, you'll notice that there's a bunch of cubicles and offices here. This is where a lot of our customer service people sit, our product managers, our engineers. So this beautiful area right here is what we call our Light Bar Cafe. So the idea of this Light Bar Cafe is that we do lunch and learns, we do breakfast, where we want our reps and our distributors and our contractors and utility people to come in and enjoy a meal and perhaps watch one of our videos on the big screen. There's a video with our very own Ryan Quinn being shown right now. And we'll show a video, we'll feed them, and we'll have a great time learning and having a meal together. Over here is our main conference room. Again, really nice, open, lots of light. And now we'll walk towards our product showroom. So this is our lighting showroom. We're really, really proud of the work that we did to design this and bring it to reality. What we wanted to have happen here is we wanted to do live customer trainings and demos with new products. So already this year we've done lots and lots of trainings where we've brought in contractors, ESCOs, distributors, utility reps, facilities managers, and trained them up on the latest, greatest for light efficient design. The way we have this set up is that we have a bunch of these carts on the outside. Each cart represents a different product category, and I'll go through those categories shortly. And in the middle, we have our demo bench where we have outlets, electricity, and a lot of the connectors and controls that we're using, and we can really demo and bring the products to life. So this first cart over here, this is our outdoor screw-in retrofits. This cart, we have our PL lamps on top, we have our indoor screw-ins in the middle, and we have our linear LED lamps down below. These are our low-powered retrofit kits, so our LED CR for surface mount fixtures and our LED SR for sconces. And then down below, we have our higher-powered retrofit kits, so we have the LED block, and then our LED SS EXT. Here we have our external drive bar kits, and then our new linear transformer product. This is a product coming very soon, really exciting, can be used either as a retrofit kit or a fixture. So look for a lot of information coming on that soon. These are our indoor fixtures over here. So we have some of our stairwell fixtures, our high bays, our surface mount drums, and our LED panels. Down below on this cart, we have our parking lot fixtures. Up above, we have some of our other exterior fixtures. So this is our exterior fixture cart. Wall packs, our outdoor drum fixture, featuring the LED CR replaceable light engine, our LED CS canopy fixture. Here we have our specialty lighting. So we have our temporary worksite lighting up top. We have our high temperature high bay unit, and then we have our automotive spray booth fixture. And then lastly, this card is showcasing some of our brand new technology for 2019, our LED solar lighting. So down below, we have our parking lot fixtures and our area light fixtures. And then up above, we have our wall packs, some security lights, and some floodlights. All right, the next step is we're going to be going downstairs. And downstairs, we're going to check out our manufacturing facility, where we're doing lots of Buy America Act compliant manufacturing, as well as customization of lots of items here, such as adding motion sensors, emergency battery backups. So let's take a look at that. Come on, Caleb, these people have a busy day. Let's go. So here's our lobby and reception area. This is where people access the building from. And now we'll enter our manufacturing facility. It's going to be a little bit louder here. So down below here, this is our manufacturing facility. We have a number of different manufacturing lines going on today. Some of the products, like over here, you can see our external drive LED bar kit being assembled. This is for a military-based project, so this is Buy America Act compliant. Now, if we come this way, we'll see some of the other lines where other products are being assembled. Good, good.
Oh, look at this.
People have a lot of fun down here in the manufacturing facility. So some of the other products going on over here, we can see we have our LEDSS TXT, that's our post-op retrofit kit being put together. Here's some of our sconce fixtures over here. And then we'll also take a look at the quality control room before we leave the manufacturing facility.
And then on this one, we put
So this is our quality control room. In here, our quality manager sits, and we have the ability to do both electrical testing and photometric testing. So this is some of the electrical equipment. This is some of our photometric test equipment. This is called the integrated sphere. This is basically a large, highly reflective sphere. And in it, you can see right now we have an LED tube mounted. So basically, a light source goes in that, and a spectrometer measures the amount of light, the color temperature, the color rendering index. This is really important equipment to help us make sure that we're doing really, really good quality control on everything that we ship out the door. Now let's take a look at the warehouse.
In the earlier just, go to the break room and kill some time, and then we'll start up at 8.
Right this way to the warehouse. So this Middleton warehouse is now one of 9 warehouses that we have throughout the U.S. and Canada. We set this up as efficiently as possible. So we actually use the same technique that Amazon uses to organize and digitize its warehouse. Over in this area, this is all the material, either incoming or finished goods, for our manufacturing room that you just witnessed. So we have finished products over here. I think we have some high bays going out to military base. I also see some of our Live CG2 stairwell fixture that I believe is going to a project in New York City. So all of these goods have been assembled in that room that we just were in.
And then over here.
So again, this is just more of our warehouse facility. Some of the things that you'll notice as we walk through this warehouse are that we have very narrow rows, and that's in the spirit of efficiency. So most warehouses have 10 or 11 or 12-foot wide aisles in the warehouse. We're able to narrow that down to 6 feet, and that's so that we can pack even more racks in and more goods in to really optimize the use of this warehouse. Then we got some of our shipping area over here, and we have another warehouse over there. So there you have it. There's a really great tour, quick tour of our Middleton manufacturing innovation facility. We're really excited for you to come here and visit us. So let Rebecca know, let Caitlin know, let any of your regional managers know. Come visit us, bring your customers. We're excited to see you. Thanks.
All right. So now we will open it up for those of you that are still with us, and I can't believe the number of people that actually are still with us. It's pretty cool. But we'll open it up to a Q&A. So let's see. That should be coming up on the screen here. All right. So I'll go through some of these questions. Feel free to call us, email us, talk to any of your regional managers, but I will go through some of these questions for you, for those of you that want to stick around. So Joe asked, will these lights be rebatable through local power companies? I assume he's talking about our solar lighting. That's a great question. Right now, typically solar off-grid lighting is not rebated by electric utilities. While there are some incentives, we've seen some states that have incentives not through the utility so much because these are off-grid, but through agencies that incentivize solar panels and other solar renewable products. With that being said, we are working with DLC and we're talking to some utilities about in the future, probably not that pure off-grid solution being rebatable, but hopefully those hybrid models that'll be coming to market later this year. So great question. Joe also asked, will these lights be supported after they have been installed several years from now for replaceable drivers and LED modules? Again, not really sure if we're talking about the solar lighting or the line voltage site lighting that we have, but the answer is that for the site lighting, the drivers are fully replaceable easily because the driver box compartment is accessible toolless with those spring clips, and also the driver itself is toolless. And that's actually a great question. We had a project, this is probably going back a few months, out on the West Coast. It was a few hundred of our site lighting fixture, about 400 of them, and 200 of them, once they got onto the job, ended up being 480 volts instead of 277 volts. They didn't know that when ordering. They thought they were all 277 volts. The contractor was thrilled because in competitors that they had been using, they had to either send the fixture back to the manufacturer to be swapped for 480 volts, or they had to, have 8, 9, 10 screws opening that driver compartment and then screws releasing that driver. This was a super quick fix. He said that, we ended up sending him, I think, the 240 volt drivers, and he said it took something like 4 or 5 minutes per fixture where just 1, 2, driver compartment open, and then they were able to easily swap the driver as well because that's all held on by a clip. So huge labor savings either down the road if a driver needs to be replaced, or if it's misordered because of the wrong voltage. Steve asked, when will the 2019 catalogs be available in Canada? Good question. Rebecca will get back to you with that. Charlotte asked, I'm listening in today because my showroom is interested in working with your company. Who should I contact about getting some literature sent over to us about your product? Great question, and Caitlin will get in touch with you as long as she has your email address. She can get in touch with you, and that sounds great. Bill Harrow is one of our ESCO customers, great ESCO customers, and he asked, what's the motion sensor in the area light? Is it configurable from the ground? So we use a microwave motion sensor for our area lights, just like we use in our stairwell fixtures and in our panels and in our drum fixtures, our sconce fixtures, and it is configurable from the ground with a remote control. Bob asked the LED ALG2. Nate mentioned 5 optics choices, type 3, 4, and 5. What are the other 2? Great question. We have 2 different floodlight options. So this is kind of our combination parking lot and also floodlight fixture. And if you want to use it as a floodlight, say, we've had people put it on the side of the building, flooding a parking lot. We've had people use it in baseball fields. I've seen that before at schools. We do have some flood-specific optics. So that makes it pretty unique because it's super flexible and is a combo, parking lot fixture and area light fixture. Come on, anything else? We still have a lot of people on here. There has to be some more questions. These are great questions so far. Can't believe how many people are still with us. This is really cool. Really, really appreciate your time. I know that you have a lot of other places you could be, but it means a lot. I really want to stress that in the future, for our Pro Workshop webinars in future months, please, please, please go to your customers. If they have a TV, go to them, sit down. We had a contractor that was friendly with a facilities manager at a hospital, and this month he went there. He bought them some donuts and bagels, and they put this up on the big screen, and they were blown away because they didn't know about everything going on in solar lighting. So really impactful if you can not only watch these presentations yourself, but go to your customers. And even we're going to put a program in place for next month and in future months where if you want to do that, if you want to do a little lunch and learn with these seminars, we'll reimburse you for the lunch up to $100. So if you go to a customer and you bring them lunch or donuts or bagels or snacks, send us the receipt and we'll reimburse you. That's how important it is for us for you to sit with your end customers watching this. So Steve asked, 347 volt going to be an option for the LED LG2? I think Nate answered that, but again, well, it's a good question. So we have one option on that is 120 to 277 volt, and then we have another option that's 347 to 480 volt. And we have those Canadian listings as well. So, and it's not using a transformer, it's an actual driver that accepts 347 to 480. Great question. Brandon asked, will the solar area light have wireless control capabilities? So that is something we are working on for our next generation. Right now it's just standalone, but like I was showing on that slide, where we were going over some of the details of what you might see at our Light Fair booth coming up in Philadelphia this year. We're going to have cellular connectivity and the ability to go into a portal online, a cloud portal online, be able to log in there, understand what the fixture is generating from the sun, if it's a hybrid model, how much power is coming from the grid, and then be able to make tweaks. Good question. Lisa asked, any chance of a Cobra head solar replacement solution on the horizon or decoratives like colonial lanterns? So great question. We have, I don't know if more you mean the form factor or the light output. Right now the unit that we have is up to a 250 watt equivalent replacement. We do have units, if you do have a project where you need 400 watt, we don't have an all-in-one solar unit that can replace 400 watt, but we have 2 options. One is you can use one of those like spider brackets, 1, 2, 3, 4 arms on top of a pole to be able to mount multiple fixtures. We also have a non-all-in-one, so it's a separate solar panel, battery box, and light fixture, but we have the ability to replace a 400 watt using that. And then in the future, with these hybrid models we're bringing to market, that's really where we'll be able to have a really comfortable, smaller form factor, but be able to get the light output that we need for a 400 watt metal halide because we're pulling some electricity from the grid. We can't do that with an all-in-one in the LED SAL format. That's because it just becomes so large that it's a sail on top of the pole and it could blow away. So Ted asks, from ElectroRep, are the off-grid wall packs remote controllable? They are. So those are launching in March. The pricing is already on the price book that was released, I believe maybe last week or the week before. And on those units, there is a motion sensor and a little infrared receiver, and every unit comes with a remote control. All of our solar fixtures that have the different options come with a remote control, so you can set it from the ground and you can tweak those settings. There's actually also on these wall packs, you can modify the modes. I know it's small, but there's also a little bar right here where you can change the modes on here without the remote control. you have two different options. Still a lot of people on the call. I really appreciate it, everyone. So Kent asked, for the LED ALG2, do the drivers for the smallest lumen packages have different tap settings, or are the drivers lumen specific? So it is a very modular, configurable system, but the way that we're selling and offering right now is that we do all that configuring here at the factory. And that's because we're not using drivers with switches on them like we do on our Flex Watt products. The Flex Watt products, like the stairwell fixture or the panel or the drum or sconce retrofits, these are configurable at the factory, and we have to flash them with a computer. So, so they're not modifiable in the field. Saw some other questions in the chat box, not in the Q&A. Just asking, can you provide a list of Buy America Act compliant offerings? So I just want to make it clear that we can offer Buy America Act compliance on many of our products, but it is an option. So we don't offer Buy America Act standard on maybe one or two products, but the majority of them, it's going to be a cost adder. And if you look at your price book, and if you don't have a price book, you know, ask one of your distributors or reps. But we do offer Buy America Act on just about all of our products. We've done this year, over the last 12 months, we've done, I don't know, close to $10 million probably of Buy America Act compliant projects for military bases and government buildings. So it's a very active segment of our business. Norm asks, what is the life expectancy of the new solar fixtures? So great question. Just to reiterate what I was saying about the battery technology, is that it's really the electric car industry that's been driving a lot of the innovation in these lithium ion and lithium polymer batteries that we're using, making them smaller, more efficient, more reliable, better operating temperature ranges. So the batteries that we're purchasing and using in these units are the best quality batteries we can get a hold of. We're doing a lot of work to ensure quality of the batteries, and they're rated for 2,000 charge cycles on most of the solar products. And again, one charge cycle is 1 day. So you get 365 potential cycles in a year. So, you know, multiply that out by 5 years, that's, what is that, about 1,700 charge cycles, and the battery's rated for 2,000. That doesn't mean that the battery is gonna die after 2,000 charge cycles, but that's when it's gonna start to depreciate. So at that point, either you're gonna have, you know, after what is that, about 7 years, you're gonna have, well, 6 to 7 years, you're going to have some drop off in the battery performance. It's not going to last as long on a full charge, and either you can keep running it and the performance is going to be degraded, or you can replace it because we're offering those battery replacements. How does the warranty of the fixture and battery work, prorated or full replacement? So on our solar products right now, we're doing full replacement. So we want to be the easiest company in the business to do business with on any of our line voltage or solar fixtures. So it's not a prorated warranty. We're offering full replacement. Anything else? Again, really appreciate it. There's a lot of people still on the call. Norm must be over in Hawaii, where it's probably a few degrees warmer than here in Boston today. But you're very welcome. Thanks for joining us, Norm. Appreciate that. Ed asked a good question, and then we'll probably end it there. But Ed Bartholomew, he's at a utility out here in Massachusetts, and he asked, what about side-to-side panel adjustment of the solar panels on our fixtures? So you know, right now the solar panel is fixed to this unit, right? So you can angle it up and down, and obviously you can turn the bracket on the pole, but the LED module and the solar panel are not independent. So we have a design, you'll see it at Light Fair, where the solar panel and the battery box LED module are independent, so that you can both move the panel up and down angled, and you can orient it to, you know, for example, point south, where you're probably going to get the best coverage. Bill asks from Guardian Energy, one of our ESCO customers, is the TTE coming out at Light Fair? So TTE, that's an acronym that probably most people on this call don't know, but stands for it's a product that we have coming out. We do have stock of it now in 4-foot. It's what we're calling our linear transformer. And this is a revolutionary new product that we're going to be presenting next month. Cut sheets will go out probably in 2 weeks. It's already DLC listed, it's already UL listed, but it's a light bar. I'll actually grab it for a little sneak peek. So here it is right here, and this is a 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot light bar that can be used either as a retrofit kit or as a new fixture because it's both UL and DLC listed in either category. Line voltage goes right to it. It has 0 to 10 volt dimming. You can connect these together in series or parallel with multiple other bars, and the dimming will continue. So you can connect up to 40 bars together if you're doing like cove lighting or softed lighting or retrofitting industrial strips and warehouses. It's got a really slick little magnetic bracket. For those of you that are very familiar, we have a lot of ESCO customers that are very familiar with our LED bar kit external driver. This is going to be basically an alternative in that family where you don't have that external driver. You have line voltage and your dimming going right to it, and you don't need that extra driver. So this is a really cool product that's coming out soon. We're calling it the linear transformer. That's the nickname. And then another name for that is that it's the LED bar kit internal driver, same product. And that's going to be, you're going to see pricing come up on that in the next couple of weeks, cut sheets in the next couple of weeks. Again, already DLC listed. We already have some inventory. All right. I think we're good. Still a lot of people here, but why don't you guys take it away?
Well, thank you everyone for joining us and for everyone who stayed. This has been awesome. We hope you learned a lot. And so if you do have any follow-up questions, feel free to email Rebecca or myself. We can send you any information that you need. And we will be sending out the results of the quiz tomorrow. So then you guys will let you know who are the lucky winners of the Yeti. And yeah, I think this was great. We hope everyone learned a lot. And thank you all so much for coming. We really appreciate it. And thank you, David and Nate, for awesome presentations, and Rebecca for her phenomenal case study. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Bye, everyone.